reggae artiste. He's young, he's rising, he's talented. He has his upcoming debut EP coming out on November 20th. There's 8 tracks, 2 features. It was entirely written, produced, mixed, and sang by him. The man next to me needs absolutely no introduction. It's the one and only Iotosh.
Yes, thank you for the introduction.
Oh, I forgot, Grammy-nominated producer.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, your list just goes on and on and on. Hey guys, what's up, play listeners? It's your girl Luna. I've got my amazing co-host Jordy.
It's good. Big up in number.
Yes, man.
We are so excited to be here today because, like I said, Iotosh has his debut EP coming out soon, and he's thankfully graced us with his presence today to unpack every single song in the album, let us know which songs he loved, which songs he hated, which features were not so fun to work with, and what he's got coming next year. You don't have to fully say it. All right, so like I said, you wrote, produced, mixed, and arranged the entire project. How are you feeling? This is like your baby right now.
It is. I'm I'm in this weird midpoint of like letting go of it and, you know, seeing it out into the world, and also like still clinging on to it because it's years in the making, you know. Like some of these songs are like 4 years old.
Wow, okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What was the vetting process for you for creating, because it's only 8 tracks,
Right.
only 2 features, it's a very short project.
Mm-hmm.
How did you pick, you know, what song was gonna go where?
Well, I think it was relatively easy because like I don't create things in high volume like that, you know. It's like I know what purpose I would want a song to serve. So from the beginning I knew it would be an EP, you know, out the gate. And then I said, okay, I want it to be like 8 tracks. And from there, it's like, I know, say, okay, track 1, I want it to be like a song that connects with everybody. It's my first introduction. It's the first thing that people will hear. You know what I mean?
This is For the People. That's also the name of the EP. I should have mentioned
Yeah,
that.
the cure for the people.
The Cure for the People.
You know, track 2, like I'm a big fan of just classic albums, and especially in rap, you know, like the second track will be like a banger. So
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so,
I like that thought process.
yeah. So that's how I approached it. Really.
I want us to go track by track. So first
Okay.
track is called The Cure. And like you said, it sounds like a tribute for the people, right?
Yeah.
In the song, you say "for the people, by the people." So tell us a little bit about the inspiration for like wanting to start off by saying, "Hey, by the way, this is for you. This is your cure for." Because you talk about a lot. You talk about love. You talk about loss. You talk about personal growth. So why was this what you needed to start the project with?
Well, I think that song really just encapsulates my belief that, you know, reggae music is a very powerful music.
Yeah.
You know, music in general have a lot of power, but reggae music specifically, you know, it historically is for the people. You know what I mean? It's something that provides a lot of strength, a lot of education, even.
Yeah, it's born from, I mean, most genres born from like I'll say a street level, but reggae music
Yeah.
definitely, no matter what, is usually from a place of like authentic.
Yeah.
I don't like to use struggle, but it's authentic.
A struggle, it come from
authentic struggle. Yeah.
It come from reality.
Yeah,
Reggae
there
music
you go.
come from the
Authentic
reality.
Yeah,
you
the
know,
reality.
and-
Yeah, there you go.
And for me, especially nowadays, I hear a lot of conversation about reggae this and reggae that, when, you know, it still can be the thing where enlighten and bring people, you know, into a better place. And that, I guess that's my personal mission as well, really, is just to make music that resonate with people and hopefully help them somehow into a better place.
You had I believe it was a Rasta elder on like the intro for the song saying reggae music keeps the people alive.
Yeah.
Is that how you feel?
Of course, keep me alive.
Okay.
Sure,
Like literally and physically.
Yeah.
literally. Like I don't know where I would be without music today. God knows.
Wow. Wow, actually.
Really?
That's a big deal.
You had mentioned that in a rap album, usually the second track is the one that's like the heavy hitter. So your second track was Once Upon a Time, and it does sound like it's heavily influenced by like a deep rap bass as well as traditional reggae. How did you put that together?
Well, it wasn't hard, because I mean, if I was to describe my delivery on that, I would have said like I was more DJing, you know. But of course, you know, the relationship between rap and like early dance or like toasting, you know, so it was really just me. I was focused on the storytelling, but also like I just love delivery and, you know, chopping. So that song kind of scratched that itch for me. And as well as being like very lyrical and hard hitting, is like the story in there.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Going through the EP, it's one of my favorite tracks on it. And I feel like because it speaks to, I mean, just an overall struggle and the reality of a creative, of an artist, everybody that's in the creative industry where, you know, this is a non-conventional scene. You get me? Like what we're, even what we do, I always tell my friends that we take advantage of is like, it's not a regular thing we're doing. Like we're trying to, not only are we trying to curate a space, but we're trying to also make money from it. Doing both at the same time is very difficult.
Very.
And I felt the story behind it, and I feel like it would speak to a lot of, especially, I mean, other artists coming up who feel like, you know, the struggle of, you know, I got to make it, the pressures of like, I think you were speaking about, you know, like mom saying, yo, well, go on. What's the situation? Like parents saying that, you know, so I felt like it really spoke to me definitely. So I definitely appreciated that song. It's one of my favorite songs on the album.
I'm glad that song, I think it really just highlight determination and self-belief. Because as much as it definitely come out of, again, the word struggle, although struggle
reality,
you know,
reality.
Yeah. Struggle is struggle still.
Yeah, it's a reality where and not even just creatives, although the song is, you know, me talking about, you know, my decision for not go back to school and trying to figure out music without no connection or nothing like that, you know. I think it's also applicable to anybody who have ambition of making something of themselves and not necessarily going
no, definitely, you know. Like I like anybody who's just like, yo, I just want to make something of myself and belief in myself and determination.
It was passionate. You said, I'm saying this in English now, my pato was a little rocky. But you had said, I do this thing because I can't not do it. I'm sorry.
Do that thing here because I can't stop.
Thank you.
I don't even know if I said that properly, but, you know?
Yeah, I do that thing and I can't stop. You know, you just can't, like, it kind of have an anxiety to it, you know, because at the time, you know, like I was like 17 when I made that decision there, and I didn't know what was gonna happen. You know, as I saying in the song, like, armed with just a dream, have to believe in the Sonics. You know, so
that's so scary. Like, that's so. You're only 17. Like, you have to figure out your whole life right now, and it's such a big decision. Like,
yeah, but your dream, you're armed with a dream. At one hand, it seemed like a little bit, but the dream can be everything. You know, so it's like just holding on to that idea and carrying it forward in everything what I do, because. You know, like I feel like my purpose was really to just come and make music. Yeah. So I just have to follow through with that purpose. I can't lie to myself, you know.
It kind of segues. Okay, I listen to the song in chronological order. I always believe you should listen to a full body project.
Unless the artist tell you different.
Yeah, right. And Bad News is the next song, and it kind of, the whole song has this motif of just like overcoming hardship, right? It's a very real song. It's like, you're trying to figure out how to deal with bad news is what it sounds like in the song, right? Trying to figure out how to, like, this is really hard, but I'm just trying to like keep going. Is that what was behind it?
And to touch that, if that's what you got from it, fine. I got from it that, yo, you know, it kind of felt like it was a moment. I wanted to touch on that, like it was a moment of like, you know, I don't know what happened during what you're speaking on, if there was actually a specific moment, or you're just speaking on an overall thing about bad news, but it felt like it was, you remember exactly where you were when it happened, what it was, and I felt emotion and energy from that song. So, you know, if you could touch on it.
Yeah, it is very emotional because, I mean, quite frankly, it's talking about death. But
because they say everything happens for a reason, and people tend to use that when talking about losing someone.
Yeah, the line is, they say everything in life is for a reason. You know, and I think what that song represents really is just the moment when you become very aware of like how short life can be. You know, especially because I guess I can say from now, the project kind of runs in a chronological order, like in terms of there are certain things from 4 years ago till now in that order. So,
Okay.
you know,
Okay,
after leaving school and doing music for, you know, a few years and figuring things out, you're just so caught up in the grind of things until you just get a piece of bad news where stop everything.
something happened here.
You know, where you just, you know, there are a couple situations that inspired that song, but it's really just becoming aware. Say, oh, like, yeah, like, you know, a schoolmate I got drop out, you know, and you start to think about it and say, yo, like, that brother never even get to live him life, like, him not even get to see, you know, like 25 or something like that, you know, and that, like, the song was just grappling with that kind of existential realization through the lens of losing someone, you know.
I think it was a very honest song that a lot of people will really. It's so interesting. We heard the same song and we thought such different. I mean, still this idea of loss.
It's not like
but-
different, but the way, and you know, just the sonics and how he delivered it put me in a place of, not that I knew what was going on with you, but I obviously looked on it and I remember I knew where I was when I received whatever bad news I received, and it felt like, you know, like instead of just realizing, like when reality hits you that, yo, life is, as much as it feels like it can be the longest thing ever, it's particularly short.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's
Or it can be.
So you said that the entire project is in chronological order, but the next song is What's the Pre?
Right.
Guys, What's the Pre is big vibes. Big vibes. So in your life, what happened in between Bad News and What's the Pre?
Well, it's just the moment where you realize, say, wow, life is really short. You just have to live life while you're alive, you know.
That's how I got it,
Like so one of the ways, one of the concept that I'm gonna put into this project is every 2 tracks address the same thing. So track 1 and track 2 is talking about music. First track, The Cure, you know, is talking about music for the people, but then the second track is what music do for me and like my journey in music or into music. Third track, Bad News, is about life, but you know, like the loss of life more so. And track 4, What's the Pre, is like celebrating life while you have it, you know.
It definitely sounds like a song you'd hear in the party lifts up, or you're at a beach, or you know.
That is one of the songs that obviously I, you know, trust and believe what you do, but a song that I forget work.
And it's I
forget work
with Kyrax.
What was that color? What was the vibes like in the studio? Because it sounds like a fun song. It seemed like it was fun to create.
It was, out of all of the songs on the project, probably out of all the songs I've done so far, it's like that's the one I thought the least about, you know, because I can be very meticulous and I can try to, you know, like get something perfect, but with that song, I literally just play the drum pattern on a drum pad, and once I found those chords and played them in and chop up that guitar loop, it's just like, all right, don't do no more. just pause, you know, because that's enough. And I had that rhythm for a while. A lot of these rhythms I've had for a while. Some of them I sent to other artists. Nothing came of them, and I was just like, I revisited that rhythm one day, and I was just like, you know, this have a mad vibe still, man, if you just do something. And I just started mumbling.
You paired it with a visual too, which I enjoyed, and I feel the visual captured the energy of the song you're going with.
For sure. Just pouring, just being around people, you know, and enjoying what life have to offer. And in that video, it was a river. You know?
As a perfectionist, you didn't quite use that word, but it's kind of the vibes. How do you have like a team that you look to be like, okay, Io, like you've done enough to this, let it breathe now?
Not really. I do a lot of the I'm in my head a lot when it comes into the creating process. You know, I will play music for very few people, especially while I'm still working on it. So, you know, like my wife or like Kyrax, because me and him work so close from time. Like, I'll just kind of approach him and say, hey,
do you like this?
Yeah, cause,
what do you think?
Because when you put out music, you know, you kind of get used to turning off some of your, or disconnecting a little bit when you're putting it out to the wider public, but when you're still working on it, when you're still vulnerable with it, you know, sometimes it make me shy, you know, to approach it.
There's, I always tell people, say, one of the most difficult things to me, like, if you want to say job, is being an artist. I'm not even talking the stresses of, like, you know, money and putting things together and how much it costs to be an artist. I'm just talking about the vulnerability of you putting your work out there and how it's going to hit with people, because you know, you never know.
It's really hard to put yourself out there for critique in that way. And worse, you've put so much time. It's not like you're being judged just on your face, or, you know, you've like put thought and effort. You've written the lyrics. This
Thoughts,
is about your life.
as you said, thoughts, ideas, you know. And I mean, what comes with the job, I take it because I sign up for this, you know? But more well, you have to have a strong mind as well, because as the question you ask, if there's anybody who will prompt me and say, oh, maybe that's too much or whatever, it's like me have to know what is too much for myself, you know, and kind of gauge it and say, okay, this song doesn't need overproduction. It's a simple vibe. Literally saying you want to know what's the vibe, you know. So
I just, you brought us a production, like, how I got introduced to it is through you being a producer. So what is that balance that we're speaking about? Like, you know, Luna said, how do you know when it's time to, like, this is it? You know, it's time to leave it alone. Does your producer side help with that? Like, to know, so
100%. 100%. And not just producer in the sense of making the rhythm them, but also working with the artist who, like, you know, working with all of the artists that we work with, they would have had so much experience with them, learn from maybe even more legendary producers, and you know, a lot of that information just through working together would have learned about these things, or understand, okay, you don't need to pack up a song with like 30 different instruments. Sometimes just a guitar, bass, and drum do it. You know, so I just learn them things, they pick it up as my work, you know.
Okay, so I have to be in your business a little bit right now. Just a touch, tiniest amount. You kind of showed us a little bit of your flirty side on What's the Pre, but Perfection is really where we see Loverboy Io. And I was gonna ask clearly the song was inspired by a very lucky lady.
Yeah, my wife, Kayla.
Yes.
Big up yourself. Oh, I didn't tell you.
Who was the MC at the beginning of Perfection?
That was Brush One. Okay,
big up Brush One.
Big up Brush One.
One for the Brush.
When the man forward for record it, and he had to shout so loud, you know what I mean? And it's my little home studio, you know, like. Me, I say, yo, people supposed to say, what is going on?
Oh man, Brush, they're supposed to recognize me from the radio and them thing them, and them alright, them just know, say, you know?
But he killed it though, it was a dope intro.
I hear a little bit of Junior Gong influence, especially in the second verse where you say, don't jump me for the English now. You alone wear the crown, queen in the streets, so no other girl can, I think you say go around?
I'm gonna say, you alone wear the crown, queen in the scene, some other girl can go around.
Yes.
Yeah. Woman, you know how much you mean to me. You receive the throne. Yeah.
Actually, what you said.
The question mark in your voice is I've
been listening to these songs for so long. It's like, you would think I know it, you know, but it's just a blur. Everything.
No, it's on the... Because again, Perfection is one of the songs that I
love that song.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I brought it up earlier with you before we came on camera that, you know, we did Rum Festival for like New Wave. You performed that song. And I was we're in studio because we had rehearsals. We were in rehearsals for like 2 weeks. And every time he sang that song, you could feel like people sat down. Yeah. Not like because they were bored. It's because they were listening to the song.
They were enthralled.
They were listening to the song. And we get, like, you know, you just gave the energy that was in the room. And I still felt, and it, you know, sometimes there's the difference between like a live, hearing something live, and then like hearing it in the, like, you know, music when you're in the studio. It's different. And I was like, it didn't feel different at all. You never even sound different to me.
I appreciate it. That means I'm doing my job.
No, I did the job, man. And it worked. It's a very beautiful song.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
I did want to circle back to your Junior Gong influence.
Right.
Though. Before we got on camera, you said like every young
Yeah,
artist
it's
is in
Junior
some
Gong.
way influenced.
It's gone.
It's
Right?
Junior Gang. It's a gang, man. Like, you know, very influential. Of course, for me personally, but I'm sure almost all of my peers them have some level of influence from him. You know, like he definitely pioneered like the whole. As we were saying, he pioneered. Maybe pioneer is not the right thing to say, but he definitely
Put it on the map.
put it on the map in a certain
Put
way.
it on the
You
map,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Like the whole reggae and hip hop blend, but also just him, even him as a dancehall artist is one of the baddest
Right.
dancehall artists or lyricists too. So, yeah.
Who are some hip hop artists or rappers that you say influence your sound?
Me? Early on, Eminem for sure. Like me was a
Okay.
lyrics man. Me was a lyrics.
Yax
I
said
am.
the same
Yax
thing,
said the
yeah.
same thing,
True.
and I am
M-
fascinated by Rasta artists being a fan of Eminem. That
It's
seems
the
like
rap,
such
it's the
a
rap, but it's the rapping and it's his delivery.
okay,
Oh,
or maybe the
for
lyricism
sure.
as well, because that's heavy
Yeah,
reggae.
For sure. Even storytelling.
Storytelling
something
is
that,
definitely deep. Yeah.
You know,
Big
somebody like Nas.
Another one, yeah.
Common is a tough MC. There's so much. Kendrick is my favorite artist.
Right. Oh, you had a ball this summer. Yeah.
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 Had a good
In
time
your
this
professional
summer.
opinion, who's on the?
Hey, yo, come on. All right. Listen, we know what's up.
I'm just saying. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
The unanimous man. People know what going on. But for sure, like there's so many names in terms of rappers
Yeah.
and stuff that you know. But yeah. I can't. I have to make a list.
Yeah, there's too
Yeah.
much people. I get you.
Re-perfection. I just wanted to put a little comment out here that you said you don't want to fight, so you're writing this song. Do you use your music as a kind of like outlet when you're trying to figure out certain things? Because I interpreted that as like sometimes men do a little bit too much chatting. And so
Jesus
sometimes
wept.
if you present it in a creative and fun way, like in Perfection, it's easier to digest.
Well, it's not something when I consciously go to and say, all right, I'm having problems, let me go and make a
Put
song
to the
about
song,
it.
yeah.
I approach it more, a lot of the music that I make is just me writing down how I feel, not necessarily with the intention of doing that, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So it's like, I think it just forward on its own, and as it starts to take form, and I realize, okay, this is what's coming out of me. Like, I guess my job as the artist is to shape that mass or that idea, but the idea itself just forward.
How does like the musical side of your songwriting process come to be? Because like you said, it's you start writing the lyrics first, and then you kind of, or you write how you're feeling, and then you kind of shape that into lyrics.
Yeah, usually the composition come first for me.
Right.
I usually have the
Okay.
rhythm them, like I build the rhythm them, and it's funny because you can put emotion into lyrics, but you can also put it into the composition. So
Okay.
even like the rhythm for Perfection, like that was made before I even thought about the lyrics for that song, you know? And to me, maybe that's where the emotion went in to even inspire the lyrics them, just because of how it sounded when I listen it back, you know, over time. So,
I mean, if you listen to that rhythm by itself, or I would say beat by itself, you hear it gives you a feeling of, you know, I don't know if sultry is the word, but it gives a feeling that you're speaking about before you even say anything on it. So, you know,
For
I feel like
sure.
it was a perfect marriage.
for sure.
I can't say
It's like
enough
romantic
about.
almost.
Yeah, I can't say enough about that song. It's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
Give thanks. I'm glad you like it.
So, okay, did Perfection. What's the pre? Life is going pretty good for Io in terms of the project right now.
Sure.
Okay. All right, or things are looking up, let's say. Things are
Yeah.
looking up. But then we get to Where I Grow.
Right.
And it seems like you've hit another point of like deep reflection in this song. First of all, where are you from?
I'm from Kingston, Johnny.
Born and bred?
Born and bred.
Town boy?
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
I went to school in St. Elizabeth for a while, so that's why I hesitate. I went to
Come
Monroe.
on, hesitate, man. You're not talking about it. For a while, look
I went to Monroe for like, 5 years from third form.
We have a good blend.
That's a big chunk
Yeah,
of
it's
your
a good chunk
adolescence.
of your adolescence. Still. It's a good
Yeah, but at Kingston, I'm born.
Yeah, man, Kingston. Yeah, man. Okay.
I asked because they say that we are free, but really, what that is?
Yeah.
Explain that to me. Like, is this song talking about growing up in a hardship and trying to figure out how to come out of that, or what is that?
Well, the song is really me assessing the context that we live in Jamaica, but it's also applicable to other places. Okay. So when you look at, when you just look around, we can start with like the pothole in the road, for example. Please. Since that's, a big thing right now, the road them. And you start to question, why are the roads bad? And then you start to take note of other things. Like I mentioned it in the song, you see a lot of homeless people on the road. And you start to wonder, why is that? And in my assessment, when I analyze the situation, you just look back, and to me it all linked back to like colonialism.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
yeah. Word.
So that's really what the song is kind of just tracing the roots back from where we are now to what caused things to be the way they are now. And when I say that we're free, but really what that is, people say slavery done, and people say, like we're free and whatever, but how free are you really?
Yeah.
No.
The long hand of history still rests upon the shoulders of many. And
was that your quote?
No, that is not mine. I don't remember where that quote was. My dad said it to me one time. It is not mine.
To make sure.
It's not mine, please. I'm sorry. I do want to ask you what this means. You said if they cry, you would see snow.
Yeah. That's just me being lyrical.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. So trying to make you feel how
you're hardcore.
Yeah, hardcore.
I'm
trying to make you say, all right, it's not a pretty thing. Some of them might have on outside of the street.
Like when it come on to, how do I say this? I think a lot of people don't really allow themselves to feel emotions.
Especially more than half of Jamaica problem. Right?
Yeah, for sure. Like,
especially men.
For sure, especially men.
No doubt.
But like people don't even acknowledge them feeling sad. They don't acknowledge themselves even feeling sad. So the whole idea of when I say their hearts have turned so cold, if they cry, you would see snow. It's almost like, literally like cold and snow. They're related, but it's also like you probably couldn't even cry tears.
Yeah,
because it's just like it will just stop at your eye and freeze up and go away. That's kind of the sentiment of that line. Yeah.
There's a very kind of militant vibe in this song, and this vibe is prevalent in a lot of reggae songs that speak about hardship and strife, not just with you, but with other reggae artists as well. And I wanted to ask you what you think is that relationship between like militancy and hardship, especially like in like that expression in reggae music.
Well, the militancy means that you stand up for something and you fight for it. And reggae music, historically, that was its purpose. It was rebellion or revolution, And in that song, with me highlighting where I think all of this thing come from something as wicked as colonialism. You have to be militant. You have to. You can't make the thing them step on you and deal with it any sort of way. Like you have to fight against these forces, but the only way you can fight them is if you have to understand them and know where they're coming from.
Know your enemy.
Yeah. There's no where you're coming from. Because even as as black people, when you look into your history, it's like, I know Jamaica even come from.
Right.
You know what I mean? And when you look on Jamaica and realize, as far as our current understanding, anything past when the Tainos were here, it was just always like some form of plantation. And that it just evolved over time. It's kind of the same thing now, but it just take a different form. And that's kind of what we assess our own way nowadays and say, all right, well, things not really change. Say free, but really what that is? What is that?
What does that even mean?
Yeah, all right. I mean, you
got
get me. You hit, no, listen, very deep, actually. You hit that. That's perfect.
The next song on your EP is Keep On Fighting. This was a very emotional song for me, especially with that like acoustic guitar. Was that the intention in using that?
Yeah, that's how I actually wrote the song. I was just playing the guitar, I wasn't even intending to make a song. I was just playing the guitar. And throughout this whole project, the guitar is integral, like almost every song I played,
It's on the
the
cover.
acoustic. And it's on the cover.
Yeah.
So it's like a motif, That song was just me sitting probably in the studio in the middle of the night, just playing, and I just started to.
So that was like I'm going to use vibe as a loose word. So you were just
vibing,
and inspiration came from that. Cool.
Yeah.
That's insane because I heard that song and I was like,
He meticulously
was going
built
through
that
the
up.
motions. Like you say your dad was telling you to fight, then your baby is telling you to fight and to heal and grow, and then you talk about the paradox of life. I thought you were in the studio, like
Sometimes it's not.
Well, that's how it
Sometimes
started. As time went on, I did get a bit more meticulous and purposeful with what I try to get across. But even trust me, that song just come from somewhere, man. Like I don't know where it come from.
Energy. Song that meant to be. You could say.
What are you hoping fans take away from a song like that?
What the title say? You have to keep on fighting. You can't, like.
Why it get tough,
But what them said, the hotter the battle.
It's sweeter,
sweeter
yeah.
the victory,
Yeah, can't tell of a line, right?
I don't
Remember
know.
the victory sweeter than Starburst. Yeah, man. So we have to keep going.
You have
It's a
to
little
keep
tricky.
going. To me, that's like the whole. That is like that's the climax of the project there, or like the high point, the emotional high point, because you have all these good and bad things happening throughout, not just the project, but in life, and my perspective on life is say, I gotta have good and bad, and them I gotta coexist together, but you just have to keep on living, and the only way to live is to keep fighting for your life.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And just my interpretation is not only is it like the physical, like you will live every day, but it felt like it's also how I interpret it. I could be wrong. It felt like you have to also still be intentional about the life you're making and fight for that. You know what I mean?
For sure, you have to make decisions for.
Right.
You can't log out.
You
Your
can't.
mental. You have to stay active and engaged to ensure you're living the life you really want to live.
That's so hard though. I don't.
That's why you fight. That's why you fight. You know what I mean?
I say to get tougher than I hear me. To get tough.
And your last track, Fill My Cup, with Toto. This one's been out for a while now.
Over a year.
Can I be very honest about that song?
Yeah.
I did not like it the first time I heard it.
Oh my God,
And
really?
I've heard that song a bunch of times, obviously before it. I did not like the song the first time I heard it, and then like I don't know if it's just like a thing of every time we go, cause you do your live performances when you've gone out, and it's like every single time him perform, it is like, all right, may I start for that song a little bit more now. It's like, all right, but
Sometimes I like that
a
though.
bit
You
more.
have to hear a couple of listens first. and
Yeah,
be
that
like,
song
okay, this kinda-
that song took me a little bit, but now it's like when I think about like Iotosh in terms of the essence of your career so far, I feel like the gratitude you show and the gratitude you speak on is definitely like Fill My Cup speaks on that.
For sure. I mean, I'm glad you warm up to it.
No, eventually I got there, you know what I mean? I
Other
got
than
there.
Jordy being a hater, right?
That's not hating, it's just
okay.
damn.
That's the
Public
first time
perception.
somebody tell me say them never liked the song, at a point at least.
I mean,
Oh my
yo,
God. Do you want us to
just
jump
me.
him?
Nah.
Okay.
I don't know,
man.
guys. Maybe it's a little cynicism on my part. Who knows? But like I said, no, the song is all right. I'm with the song.
Yeah, with the song.
The song now.
That not sound like you like it, though.
Yeah.
That sound
No.
sound like a pass.
No. Listen, no, man. Like I said, it's just for me, it's just that I don't know if it was just here. Like maybe the first time I heard it, it was like I don't know if I was thrown off by it. But like I said, moving forward, I like the song now.
I'm glad to
You
hear
know what I
that.
mean?
man.
Like you tell me, say, bro, let's be honest.
What have other people said? It's been out for about a year or so. You said now. What has
Yeah.
public reception been?
It's been overwhelmingly positive, for sure.
And I was very aware of the fact that I was in the minute. Everybody I know
Unpopular
loved that song.
opinion.
Yeah. Very unpopular opinion.
That's
You get
right.
me? They loved the song.
Yeah, all of the feedback I got for that song was positive, and you know, like, it's crazy sometimes when people will say things like, yo, like, this song moved me, or this song, so even today I link up with somebody and I play some music and it make them cry.
Wow.
And it's like,
That is so awkward. I'm sorry.
no, it was cool. It's
That
cool.
is
It's
so
emotion.
awkward.
It's cool. It's emotion, you know. But it's
That's
like,
what it's supposed to invoke, though.
I guess.
Yeah,
It's just like, but what does he
Music.
do? Were you just standing there like, there?
You man, give thanks.
I didn't realize it's afterwards him say, oh, you know, so that song they're really emotional, and I was just like, oh, well, yeah, like it is, you know. And at the end of the day, that's kind of, I don't want people to cry per se, but I'm making this music out of my heart and soul, you know. So when it stir emotion in our people, whether it make them super upset or it make them super grateful or sad or like whatever it is, it's like I just want people to feel something. Rather, like the worst thing what can happen is if I play something for somebody and they're not moved at all,
my gosh.
in no way.
They just say, meh.
Actually, I take it back.
Just
That's
like,
more
all right.
awkward. That's more awkward, actually. I don't know.
Yeah, you know. So yeah, Fill My Cup, like that's still to this date is like my biggest song as an artist. And you know, like even the times when I've performed it and people sing along, like I remember I did do a show at Dubwise and at Dubwise Cafe, and light cut out right as the chorus supposed to come in. I was with a live band and place pack and everything. And people just start singing the chorus by themselves while light gone and no sound is playing. And I was just like, it connect, you
I
know?
must say, I might be the only person. I really mean it. Like, I think I was the only person that did not like that song the first time I heard it.
And this was not
Well,
your
they love
first
it.
time working with Protégé. You were also a part of the team that created, like I said, guys, he's a Grammy-nominated producer. What was that kind of like? Do you feel like that put a little bit of pressure on you for your own project coming out now? Or did you feel like it made you more confident in your ability?
It definitely made me more confident, you know, because through the processes of working with Proto, like, yeah, especially that not his last album, but the last one that we worked on together heavily, which
In
was
Search, right?
Third Time's a Charm.
Third time's a charm, right? That's true.
Yeah, and I worked on half the songs on that album, but I was also present during like the final mixing. Like we went to Florida.
I
and
definitely want to ask you about that. Like, what is? I feel like, just. All right, so like when art, cause you know, with technology, you know, artists sometimes don't even have to connect like that in the studio together. But I still feel like there's an importance of artists being in the same space, producers being in the same space, not just, oh, I send you a rhythm, and you know what I mean? I feel like there's still like, it's not like, cause you know, good music still comes from that lane. But I feel like if you really want to get your music, if you really want to have that connection of where the music feels like it's even stronger, being in studio together and creating that energy and creating that vibe is, I feel like it's almost kind of missed. I'd like you to speak on, you know, how you feel about that per se.
There's definitely an energy you get from working in person with people, you know, whether it's producer, engineer, no matter what it is, there's always like a element to it where you can't even really describe with words, you know, but you might be able to feel it in the music. I would have put it down to just how much you care, you know, like you can make good music without caring, but it's like personally, as somebody who make music, I care about the music I'm making. I care about how it comes across to people because I want to make the best music possible for myself, but I also want the music to connect with people. And you know, like even in the case of that project, I'm sure that's why, you know, artists like even a Protégé make that effort, because you don't have to go to somebody when they're mixing it. Them can just send you back and forth.
True.
But to be there and dial in everything and work real time and try ideas in real time, like those things can help you those little details is what can set things apart.
Because you might, I can imagine you being in the studio, like you might hear something that two of you connect on and be like, yeah, we like how that song, we'll switch this up, or, keep things how it is, like keep things how it is, and
For sure.
hearing each other's opinions and how it lands for both of you.
For sure.
Yeah.
What do you say, or what would you say has been your biggest, or one of your biggest takeaways from the creation of this project?
Feel like a heavy question. Well,
It's opinion based, really.
yeah. What's my biggest takeaway from making this project? It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work, but it's a labor of love, and I think I really just want to see how people feel about it more than anything, because I think it was a cathartic process for me. Like a lot of my own personal experience are in each of those songs, and there's a release that comes with, putting it out there, but that's just half of the job, like the next part of it is to see how it connect with people, because it's literally for the people, It's literally for the people.
What's your favorite track on the EP?
Once Upon a Time, I think, is my favorite
Yeah,
overall.
man, that's the one to me, man.
Yeah,
That's the one.
For me, it's What's the Pre and Perfection.
yeah,
Comment down below, let us know why you agree with me.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
What do you think is going to be the fan favorite from the EP?
It's weird because I think that people really like the singles, So I know that there are people who really love Perfection. There are people who really, really love Bad News as like I don't know. I didn't expect that to be a song that people would really love like that. I think a lot of people will like the first track, The Cure. Like, I think...
I can see that kicking off your set,
Yeah.
kicking off a set for you
For
easily
sure.
still.
For sure.
No doubt.
I think that will be a favorite. Honestly, is it because it's so little tracks? It's 8 tracks compared to the 14, 16, 20 that people have put out.
Yeah, but you
on
know
that
what?
project now.
You know what? And this is something that I think people have discussed before about like length of music. And yes, this is not an album per se, it's an EP, but it feels like a complete body of work. You know what I mean? You don't feel like oh yeah, I have a few songs I want to let people listen to. It feels like a complete body of work to me.
For sure.
So
For sure.
I mean, I would have liked a song in between What's the Pre and
Perfection.
No. Between Bad News and What's the Pre, because you were like really, it was rough.
It was jarring, right?
Right? And then you were like,
that's a life.
actually, life's great.
Sometimes you go low. Sometimes life hits you, and you just one day you wake up and you're like, say.
Fair.
But
Okay.
that's
We're
also
outside.
the purpose of it, you know what I mean? It's just like, life is jarring like that.
I'm just greedy. That really is it. I just really
We don't want more
music.
music. None around
That
with
is it. So when can fans see you perform this live? Well, by the time this is out, the project will be out for the public. But when can we come and watch you sing this live?
I'm hoping sometime early next year, I'll be putting on a show. I don't have all the details together as yet, but I'm also hoping to do more, like outside of that show. I'm hoping to do more performances around the place, looking into doing some performances abroad as well. So, we're lining up all of that, and I can't wait to perform these songs for people.
No man, so I'm telling you
It's gonna be
the
great.
Yeah.
that first track and Once Upon a Time, the ladies already know what's going to happen with Perfection. Them man I go hold them and them I go rock 2 times and that's gonna be it. But bro,
Big vibes.
I want to be very, very serious now when I say this is a very, very good project, bro.
Yeah.
I really
appreciate
like
it.
it.
You know what? Shake my hand.
You're very good.
Shake my hand.
It's a very, very good project, bro.
Give
be
thanks.
very
I definitely
kind.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Just for us to wrap up, is there any vote of thanks or anything you want to tell your fans, your haters, your supporters?
Love on yourself. Love on yourself.
And open yourselves now.
Yeah.
And listen to other people.
Listen to other people.
This is for the people. Oh, I just wanted to speak on the cover. You don't have to plug my
Yes,
bro. Isn't it?
100%.
I love the cover. And I know Yannick is a very big supporter of you. How did the creation of that, like, between you guys, how did it come out?
Yannick are the GOAT, bro. Yannick are the greatest.
Yeah.
He said it to me actually that he had always envisioned that he would be the person to do the cover for my first project.
You know, Sam said the same thing to me and say, yo,
so cute.
link Io and say, yo, bro, I have to do it.
Yeah.
I have to be the person for the need for it.
Bro, trust me, it's crazy how it all happened. Like, because the cover was done like not that long ago, maybe like a month ago or so, and I think we did link up about something else, and him did just mention and say, bro, you know, say if you do a project, you would just deal with this, and me I say, brother, you know, so me just done a project like, and it aligned, you know, and you know, I'm grateful to him for not just believing in the music, but also just lending his own efforts and creativity towards, you know, like it's a cover. It's the first thing people are gonna see the cover before they listen to the music.
Yeah, it's the first thing them going to see.
And I see people, even when I post the cover, I see people are comment and I say, yo, this cover is so nice, or it feels so warm, and you know, so man, I think it's a dope cover, and Yannick is great. So.
And you did touch on the guitar being so important in not only just through the music, but it's actually really on the cover also with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel that's a good representation of, you know, the project where you're at.
For sure, I agree.
So will you be submitting this project for a nomination at the Grammys or the CMAs?
All of them. All of them. All of them.
I would submit to both.
All of them.
I don't know about the process for the CMAs. You know, I don't know if it's just like them nominate people. I don't recall seeing how that works. But I got my Grammy membership a couple months ago now. So, you know, like, we're trying to make a change, you know what I mean?
No, that's what I'm trying to talk about. People in there. Got people in there. No, clap. Got people clap. Do the clap.
Fine. I'll give you a small clap just because I feel like a lot of injustices occur.
Oh, no. There was a few.
You will be the change that we need to see with the Grammys.
Yeah, it can't be on one person.
I don't know. Part of the change, though,
part
for
of
sure.
the change.
I don't know, because everybody who me vote for not get nominated. So,
that's what I'm saying. Like, are you guys open your eyes, open your ears?
I don't know, but you'll see how next year go. Hopefully, you know, like maybe my project in the runnings. I don't know. You'll see. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, man, definitely.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
We already have the inside scoop, but we hope that you guys, play listeners, love the project. Comment down below and let us know when you've listened to it and what your favorite track is. And if you want Io to do guitar lessons on Instagram. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you guys for having me.
This is the playlist on, you know, plug socials, plug the things you want to plug, of course.
Every platform is at Iotosh, IOTOSH. Everywhere, like there's no other.
No variants, there's no difference.
Yeah, nobody else has that name.
No.
You know, so.
One of a kind.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I've been your girl, Luna.
This is Jordy.
This is Iotosh.
Okay, see you in the next one.